Hey, so I didn't expect that video to get any views. If you don't know me, my name is Dr. Caitlin Hubbard. I have my PhD in cellular and molecular nutrition. I am trained on how to develop therapeutic plans for the root causes of illness. I'm also an herbalist. I'm from deep Appalachia, so I would rather teach you how to heal yourself with like things you can grow in your garden and things you can buy over the counter. I'll let you know what pharmaceuticals work if we need to take that step towards that, or if they're just the best option. But my goal is no pharmaceutical support at all. Like, you can do it yourself at home. Okay, people get really mad when I get really wordy, so I'll try to make this as fast as I can. So I'm not even going to cover like how this develops into EDS, like symptomatic EDS with histamine problems with POTS. I'm just going to like jump to how to fix it, okay? So the first thing is we need to repair the gut. I'm writing like an entire guide on this. It's going to be available soon. It's called the Histamine Report. It's under Genetics for the People. But I've already written these sections, so let me kind of explain to you, give you like the short and sweet. The whole thing's like already 50 some pages, so this isn't going to be all the information. So the first thing would be to heal your leaky gut. There's a ton. I can make a separate video on this, but it's kind of lengthy. There's a ton of support online for how to heal it. The main protocol is called the 4R protocol, if you want to look that up. Okay, then moving on to the EDS, right? Because the mast cells, which are going to release the histamine, sit inside of the connective tissue. Anytime we flex or bend or micro tear or move it or anything like that, those mast cells are going to release histamine. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that that connective tissue gets as strong as it possibly can. I don't know if you know this, but I just did calculations today. People that have connective tissue disorder actually run through some of their vitamins and minerals and nutrients so much faster than just normal people do, because of the fact that they're constantly having to like replace it, right? And then on top of that, people with connective tissue disorder typically have a leaky gut, and one of the things that comes with a leaky gut is a really poor absorption of a lot of your nutrients. So you have to take a bunch of it, even understanding that most of it's not going to get in. So the things that people with EDS need to make sure they're getting a lot of, like this is non-negotiable if you actually want to heal the connective tissue and strengthen it, are vitamin C. These people need like 2 to 5 grams a day. That's a lot. That comes with like a lot of caveats. Like if you are African American, if you have African American ancestry, please check your genes for a G6PD mutation first. Because that much vitamin C can send you into liver failure. It can also cause GI upset. So either liposomal or take very small doses throughout the day, like 500 milligrams at once. And again, we're looking for like 2 to 5 grams. Then glycine is the second thing you need. You need like 5 to 15 grams a day. Typical intake is about 3 grams. Your body does make some of it, but you need so much. That's one of like the main components for collagen. There's no way people are getting enough unless they take collagen, right? Like the coffee creamer stuff, or they're purposely tracking to make sure they get enough glycine. So that's glycine, 5 to 15 grams a day. Lysine, about 1 to 3 grams a day. Most people should get this. That should be like typical intake is like 3 to 6 grams. So that should be okay. It's really important for the cross-linking that occurs in between the collagen. So if we can make the collagen, but we have to like weave them together, right? And lysine does that, and also methylation does that, unfortunately. So you see people with this EDS, MCAS, POTS, trifecta, right? And a lot of these people have methylation problems. We know that. That's either methylfolate and methyl B12 or the supplement called SAMe. You can buy it at Kroger. Be super careful with both. They're methyl donors. You can get to the situation where if you get anxious, angry, irritable, fight or flight, reduce your dose significantly or switch to folinic acid. And the form of B12 is called hydroxo adenosine B12. It's a 50-50 mix of each one. And that will also get you to the methylfolate and the methyl B12 and the SAMe, because that's what we're trying to get to is the SAMe. Sorry, without putting you at risk of methyl trapping. I can make a really long video on this on YouTube if you guys want me to. Copper. Now, I'm going to say this with a huge caveat. Okay, copper is extremely toxic in really high levels. I estimated that people with EDS need like 2 to 4 milligrams, which is insanely high. I ran the numbers like 6 times. It's 0.9 milligrams is the RDA. So copper is needed for an enzyme called lysyl oxidase. Definitely important on collagen. But I don't want you to get your copper levels too high, so make sure you're doing serum blood testing for copper and zinc. Your zinc intake needs to be 15 times higher than your copper intake. I don't want you guys to take that much of either one, so let's just test copper and make sure it's sufficient. Vitamin A, I would say probably anywhere from like 5 to 10,000 IUs. That's a real high dose. It's a really high dose. If you even think about getting pregnant, if you even think you're gonna get pregnant, if you're even just having sex without protection, or whatever, please don't take this high of a dose because vitamin A is very, very toxic over a certain level to fetuses. What we are trying to do is a lot of the genes that are that make like collagen and connective tissue are controlled by vitamin A. So if we want them to go faster, we give you more vitamin A. It's called gene regulation, and we're regulating the expression of these things. So vitamin A, about around 5,000 to 10,000 IUs. I would probably take it for a few days and then take a break because vitamin A makes me very nervous. It's one of the few ones that you actually can overdose on and die from is vitamin A. Manganese, this is different than magnesium. Manganese, the RDA is like 2.3 milligrams for adult males, but 5 to 10 milligrams is probably going to be your sweet spot for that. And then one you never hear about, silicon. Silicon is really, really deficient in the diet, the modern diets, especially the US diet. And there is no RDA set forward at all, but it is involved in collagen, like making connective tissue. So I would say like 10 to 40-ish milligrams would be good for that. You also need proline. Proline is going to be like one of the main compounds in collagen. You're gonna need a bunch of it. I can make a video on the best foods for people that are high histamine, that have EDS and POTS. So the whole goal is you're going to stabilize, you're going to start making really good quality connective tissue by making sure you get all of those nutrients, right? You're going to stabilize your connective tissue. If this means that you need to wear braces so you don't hyperextend your joints, that's fine. If this means that we maybe need to chill out on exercise for a little bit just to stabilize everything, that's fine. I would avoid like contact sports, high impact activities like running and jumping, gymnastics, contortion, like extreme flexibility training, activities that reward hypermobility. If you have binders, anything to like keep, maybe your core tight so you don't have to use your muscles as much. Anything that stabilizes, like physically stabilizes the connective tissue, right? I would not be getting any like deep tissue massages during this time period. So now we've got connective tissue set up, right? What we want to do is we want to start calming down the mast cells that are inside of the connective tissue. So if you are looking for natural mast cell stabilizers, like one you can buy over the counter, we're looking at quercetin. It's usually dosed around 500 to 2,000 milligrams per day, divided into 2 to 4 doses. So that looks like 500 milligrams 4 times a day. Luteolin is a really, really, really big one that I love because it works just as well as quercetin does. It doesn't have as many side effects, and it can actually get into your blood-brain barrier, get past it really well. So it's really great for people that have like central nervous system based issues. Vitamin C, I already talked about that. If you need to take DAO enzyme before you eat, that's fine too. So the typical treatment for EDS and MCAS together, there are 4 steps. Step 1, you're going to start an H1 antihistamine like Zyrtec or Allegra with an H2 antihistamine like famotidine. Pretty sure those are both over the counter. Start the vitamin C, like 2 to 3 grams a day, divided doses. Start the quercetin, 2,000 milligrams, yes. Sorry, in divided doses. We're going to do that for like 2 to 4 weeks. If that doesn't work, if you're not stable, then we need to add in the bigger guns. The bigger guns are cromolyn and ketotifen. Cromolyn 200 milligrams 2 to 4 times daily, or ketotifen 0.5 to 1 milligram twice daily. If you're still not working, still not good, wait like 2 to 4 weeks, right? Montelukast 10 milligrams a day, and then low dose naltrexone. Actually, it's wild, has been shown to have a lot of effects. You start at 1 milligram and then you titrate up. I have a whole list of things that I want my people to do and I don't want my people to do. I can make a separate video on that because it gets into like the really, really small details. But let me know what you want.